Spotty gotta do? What?
Hi, welcome. It's your boy Japanese Tutor, and we're back at it again with the pawn structures. And so, if you want to follow along with us and want to get the book, it's Andrew Holtz's Pawn Structure Chess, and the links are down below. If you want to just join our Discord and be in the loop when I'm streaming and stuff like that, and just talk chess with us, the link will also be down below, and I will link the games that we are playing through as well down below. So everything down below. You know what's also down below? That subscribe button. And that like button. So you should do both of them. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything and makes me happy. Makes me want to do more free lessons for you guys. Okay, so chapter 2. So turn to that page if you are with us. Okay, so the rest of us. So there are as many roads to the Slav formation as to the Caro. There is, first of all, the Slav defense to the Queen's Gambit and its cousins. The Queen's Gambit accepted, the Queen's Gambit declined. And then after the Queen's Gambit declined, we can take on c4 after. Slav pawn structures also arise in more distant family members, such as the Catalan opening, the Nimzo-Indian, Grunfeld defenses. There are also colors reverse versions, such as in the Kali system, a system I play. And it got me from basically 1300 to 1800. It's a lot of positional chess, some tactics, and it's just a very easy system to learn. I think it's just autopilot, to be honest. So let me just show you what he's talking about. So d4, d5, knight f3, and then after that, we're gonna go into e6. Sorry, knight f3, 3, e6, bishop d3, c5. c3. This is the Kali system, and whenever you see it, this is actually called the Kali triangle, just for future reference if you need to know that. Bishop e7, castles, knight c6, knight bd2, queen c7, d captures c5, bishop captures e4, and this is what we call the reverse plan of the Chigorin, right? Or this is the reverse plan that we call the Chigorin plan. Right, so it's usually for black, but we can also play it for white, and this is a very, very typical break. Okay, so you can't find a sub button. That's great, thank you. So the Slav formation lacks some distinctive Caro features, like white's queenside majority, and makes some strategies like c5 somewhat less appealing. But once again, if you're passive, it can be very fatal to black, as in Rubinstein Schlechter, Berlin 1918. I love this game, and today we're just going to go over the Slav formation in this game, but honestly it deals with a lot with plans, a lot with what you should do in the opening. This is one of the best games to study as a beginner, I think, just to understand how people plan and what a plan looks like, and kind of like hidden moves that you should find. Okay, so let's get right into the game. We're going to go over Rubinstein Schlechter. So basically the game went here, 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 e3, and then c4. So this is the game. So instead of e3, c4. So c6, knight c3, d captures c4, e3, bishop g4, bishop captures c4, e6, castles, knight bd7, h3, bishop captures f3, queen captures f3, bishop e7, which is not so good. I think just the immediate e5 break might be good, or going for bishop d6, e5 is a nice alternative, I think. Or even queen c7, e5. But okay. Bishop e7, rook d1, castles, e4, and after e4, rook e8, and again, not going for e5, and bishop f4, kind of controlling e5 now, saying, okay, you can't play your e5 break. That's one of the main plans in these kind of structures. The Slav structure is the 3-4, but white's missing their c-pawn. The Caro structure is 3-4, but white's missing their e-pawn. And okay, knight on f8, no mate. And then finally, they really just missed their chance to play e5, and we just got a superior position just from knowing what they should do in this pawn structure. They need to play e5. Right, so d5, and this is one of the best moves I've ever seen. Just it leads to straight advantage, and it's just really, really good. So after d5, e captures d5, e captures d5. Black saw that d6 and d captures c6 were threatened. He also, so like, let's go to the position, right? So he let's go after captures. He played queen b6, right? But you're also threatening. You're threatening d6. So like whatever happens on their move, you're threatening d6. You're also threatening here because it's exposing queen, allowing us to take another pawn, and it's protected, and your king side is now getting exposed. Okay, so what happens after that? So basically those were just lost, and he would be lost after a variation that I'm going to show on the board as c captures d5, knight captures d5, knight captures d5, bishop captures d5. It's just super winning. So he tried queen b6, but let's go over the line where he actually captures the pawn. Like let's say instead of queen b6, you capture the pawn. Knight captures d5, knight captures d5, bishop captures d5, ooh, and then this is just like winning, like boom, boom, like yeah, you can't, like, yeah, boom, bishop c7, threatening this and this, like it's over. It is over. Like look at this, look at this, bam, exposing here, maybe queen f6, and now my bishop is really strong and I have control over the d file. Bam, bishop catches b7, and queen captures f3, g captures f3, not allowing the rooks to get into play, and we're winning an exchange easily, and we're probably just going to win the game. So very easy. Okay, so instead they played queen b6. So from here, queen b6. And again, they weren't able to play this e5 threat, and you can see kind of the dominating position that we got from that. And this is why it's so important to understand pawn structures, because if you understand the pawn structures, even if you don't know the immediate plan of the opening, you can kind of know what they're going for. So d6, bishop d8, g4. And g4 is, I really like g4. Just like, hey, all of my pieces are well placed. Maybe not my rook, but the a rook, but everything else is really well placed. So g4 is very nice. And you have to play knight e6. If you don't play knight e6, I'm playing g5 immediately. Okay, so if knight f6, let's go over the game. Knight e6, d7, rook here, bishop d6, and bishop d6 is really nice because after they capture the pawn, bishop captures e6, f captures e6, and then g5, and g5 is just g. You have to give this up, and because you can't move the knight because we have mate. If you take here, we're just up material, and we're gonna take here. Maybe we play here. It's just a big mess. It's a big mess, and this is how the game went. And he resigned actually after g5, but let's say this is a sample line. G captures f6, bishop captures f6, queen e2, just extremely winning, defending your weak point, attacking. There's just no way for black to come back, and we have control over the d file. And yeah, that's such a amazing game and an example of really good chess. Okay. All right, so next we're gonna go over what's called as Chigorin's E5 plan. So this is by Mikhail Chigorin. Often found himself in a position similar to the one we considered in the last chapter in the Caro-Kann kind of stuff, but instead of going into the Caro-Kann formations, we instead go into the Slav formation, and we can follow his E5 plan to see how we can get a break. Okay. So let's go into that. So after Chigorin's plan, so d4, d5, c4, not here, but c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, e3, c6, bishop d3, knight bd7, knight f3, bishop d6. So it kind of almost looks like a reverse Kali. Castles, and e4. Right? So black has a pretty much a major crossover here. Do I take here and get into the Caro-Kann structure, or do I take here and get into the c4 structure? Now, we've studied already what happens in previous videos, what happens here, right? And so we don't really need to cover that again. We're now introducing a new plan. So let's look at it from black's perspective. Considering a new plan, we're going to consider here and then the pushing of e5. So d captures c4, bishop captures c4, e5. And it's really good that you castled beforehand, because if you didn't, you get into some trouble via just like e5 and just opening up some lines and stuff like that. Okay, and then just e5. Like they can just take and stuff, and yeah, it's just better to be castled. Okay. But yeah, after e4, let's just go into what the book says. After e4, the addition, blah blah blah, and I already said that. He showed that d captures c4, bishop captures c4 is, and e5 is good. The significance of castling is that if black's king were on e8, he would have a strong d captures e5, knight on e5, and then queen captures d8, and bishop captures f7. Just crazy stuff that you really don't want to see. So Chigorin demonstrated that with d captures c4, e5, black could compete in the center by playing e captures d4 and making use of e5 with his minor pieces. Not the pawns, minor pieces. If white foils that by pushing d4, d5, the closed center invites a kingside attack, because the knight can go to f8, right? The knight can go to f8, then he can go to g6, and then he can go to f4, so like something like this. And because if the center closes, like let's say here, here, e5, d5, now this knight is like, okay, now I have all this space, and I'm gonna get my knight over here. So really, really nice. And I feel like, yeah, if you just do d5, I think positionally that's just a bad move. On the e5 brick, I think you should just take and accept that they're gonna get a piece to e5. So that wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for being here. We had a great group lesson last month for the Patreon, so if you want to join our next one, the previous one was about fire on the board, and we went over tactics and a lot of games, and we went over a lot of examples of just like beautiful chess and understanding how beautiful chess moves come about. And if you want to join us, or if you just want to learn from me, I have a lot of space. Get to the Patreon. The link will also be down below. Check it out. You can support me for as little as $1 or as much as whatever you want. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.